What if the biggest misunderstanding about wellness is that most people think it's about feeling good? Because some of the healthiest choices you'll ever make don't feel good in the moment. Going to the gym when you're exhausted, turning off the phone when your nervous system wants further stimulation, saying no to people you love, saving money instead of chasing status, going to therapy, having difficult conversations, or something like starting over. That doesn't always feel like wellness. So, what is the wellness mindset?
Welcome to the Mindset Channel, where ancient wisdom meets the modern mindset. My name is Crom.
And my name's Jono.
All right, let's get into this. The ancient people, understood something modern people probably forgot. Wellness is not comfort. Comfort is temporary relief. Yeah? Wellness is alignment. One numbs the symptoms and the other transforms the body and the soul. And that's the tragedy, I guess, of the modern life, is that many people pursue comfort while unconsciously destroying their mind-body relationships and future.
And you can see it everywhere, right? People are overstimulated but undernourished, connected online but disconnected emotionally, earning more money while becoming more anxious, obsessed with self-care whilst neglecting self-respect. And that's why this conversation matters, because wellness isn't a product. It isn't green juice. It isn't one meditation app. And it definitely isn't pretending everything is positive. The wellness mindset is the ability to create a life that supports your long-term mental, physical, emotional, and financial well-being, even when short-term emotions pull you in the opposite direction.
In ancient philosophy, wellness was not measured by pleasure. It was measured by harmony. Yeah? Harmony between thoughts and actions. Harmony between desires and discipline. Yeah? Harmony between ambition and peace. A warrior who neglects his body is considered weak. A philosopher who neglects his practical life was considered delusional. A king or a ruler, or maybe a president, who neglects...
Oh, don't even go there. Oh, you said the P word.
Yeah, who neglects financial stewardship endangered the tribe, the kingdom, and the nation. The ancients knew wellness is holistic, or it will just collapse.
That's exactly it. Wellness is holistic. It's not that particular app. It's not that particular technique. It's not this particular routine. It's everything combined. And the hard truth is this: you cannot think your way into wellness while behaving in ways that sabotage your nervous system. You can journal all you want, you can meditate all you want, read all the books you want. But if you're sleeping 4 hours a night, living in chronic stress, eating rubbish, avoiding difficult emotions, I'm going to say that again, avoiding difficult emotions, and spending money to impress people you don't even like, your body eventually keeps the score.
Yeah, the body remembers what the mind attempts to rationalize. And eventually, your habits become your identity. Let me repeat that again, like Jono would say. Eventually, your habits become your identity. That's a tough thing to swallow.
That really is.
So tonight, we're going to explore what the wellness mindset actually is and why it changes through different stages of life. Like the traps that destroy it, and the practical rituals and actions that keep you aligned when life becomes chaotic. Because wellness is not a destination, it is a relationship with yourself.
And I would have almost repeated that last line there, that it's not a destination, it's a relationship with yourself. So most people separate wellness into categories. Mental health over here, fitness over there, money, well, that's somewhere else. Most people aren't on top of it. But life doesn't work that way. Financial stress affects mental health. Poor sleep affects emotional regulation. Emotional pain affects eating habits. Lack of movement affects confidence. Debt affects relationships. Everything is absolutely connected. So the wellness mindset starts with one core belief. My daily choices compound.
A river cuts through a stone, not through force, but repetition. Likewise, your life is shaped less by dramatic moments, I suppose, and more by repeated patterns. And the wellness mindset asks, what am I repeatedly becoming? Yeah? Not how do I feel today? Because feelings fluctuate, they come and go, they're fleeting. Identity solidifies through repetition.
And here's where people get confused. The wellness mindset changes depending on your stage of life. People forget about this. What wellness means at 20 is not what it means at 40. And it's definitely not what it means at 60.
Yeah, a tree in spring should not compare itself to a tree in winter. Yeah, each season has its own wisdom, really.
It does. And this is the thing that gets lost. Your perception of wellness really does change, or your requirement of wellness really does change through life. So when you're younger, wellness often means, building an identity, learning discipline, developing social confidence, creating healthy routines, learning financial responsibility. At that stage, the danger is impulsiveness. You think you're invincible, you sacrifice sleep, you chase validation, you spend emotionally, and you confuse excitement with fulfillment.
Yeah, youth often worships intensity. And I'll say it again, the youth is wasted on the young.
Oh, is it what? Don't you wish you knew what you knew now
Oh man.
when you're in your 20s
Oh
or
man,
your
yeah.
30s,
I would
or in my case, even my 40s.
yes. Yeah. Youth often worships intensity, but intensity without direction becomes self-destruction, hey. A fire can warm a home or burn it to the ground.
Then in your 30s and 40s, wellness changes. Now it's about sustainability. You're balancing career, relationships, family, stress, responsibility, healthcare maintenance. And this is where burnout often appears. People become successful externally whilst potentially collapsing internally.
Yeah, I know many people, including myself, who went through that.
Oh, look, I've absolutely been down that road myself, and I can speak to that absolutely through experience.
Many people spend the first half of life climbing mountains, yeah, only to discover they leaned their ladder against the wrong wall.
Yeah. Then later in life, wellness often becomes more about longevity, meaning, connection, simplicity, emotional peace, and legacy. And this is where wisdom becomes more important than achievement. Because eventually, everyone discovers that unmanaged stress is extremely expensive, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So here's another problem. Modern culture constantly sells extremes, extreme hustle, extreme optimization, extreme self-improvement, extreme productivity, and ironically, people become anxious trying to become well.
A man obsessed with perfect health may become imprisoned by fear. Perfectionism, disguised as wellness, is still suffering, hey?
Exactly right, mate.
Mm.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. You know, the wellness mindset isn't obsession, it's consistency. You don't need perfection, you need rhythm. And that means simple things: walking regularly, sleeping properly, eating mostly well, managing stress, having purpose, building financial discipline, staying socially connected, recovering when life knocks you down. And that's wellness. It's not pretending to be enlightened when you're online.
Mm. Yep.
That stings, doesn't
That
it?
stings, yeah, man. When I look at Instagram or Facebook and I get a picture of people's food, I look, oh, they're having, a cheat day or something like that, right?
Right, right.
Or
It's
that,
interesting. It's interesting. Someone said to me a while ago, it's, there's in most cases, there's an inverse relationship between people's appearance on social media and how their life is actually running.
wow. I wonder if that's true.
You know, it's an interesting thing. I don't have a scientific way to test that
Mm,
sort of here and now. But what I will say is that I do know a number of people whose lives are not great.
mm.
But if you looked at their social media presence, you'd think they were the happiest people in the world. I see it with clients of mine all the time.
Yeah, right.
You know, one of the things I often do when I pick up, when a new client connects with me and I'm going to start working with them, I will quite often check out their social media before I meet them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because it just gives you it can give you an impression of who they're about. But the reason I explain this is quite often, like no one has a social media account explaining how bad their life is.
No, yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No,
You only discover that. So if I went into every session and assumed I was dealing with the person on their social media, I wouldn't really know where to start.
yeah, especially Instagram.
Especially Instagram,
Yeah.
especially Instagram.
In LinkedIn, far out, man. It's like, oh, I need to go to, I got a new project, right? It'll be a humble brag. Like, it will be like something along the lines of, um, I, I didn't deserve this, but I was chosen by my company to do this project.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And the thing that gets me on LinkedIn is the terms people put things up and say, I'm honored and humbled.
honored and humbled. Did somebody honor you and humbled you at the same time? You got a bit of a dressing down when I
Yeah. I see that on LinkedIn in particular all the time.
wow. And then that's what I mean, right? Because I remember in the early days of Facebook when the status update was along the lines of I am. There's an I am, and then you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, oh, of course, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, so that used to be like that. Those are the days where you can throw a sheep at someone and you poke them. You know what I mean? And that was what Facebook is all about.
I don't think I ever threw a sheep at someone.
Oh, we used to throw each other with a sheep at someone. You know? when there's a new friend that becomes part of Facebook, you give them a glass of wine and throw a sheep at them. you know.
I love it. Love it. I must have missed that phase. I was
Yeah.
not a late adopter, but
Oh, okay.
everyone else had been doing Facebook for a couple of years before I picked it up.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was one of the early adopters because it was Friendster and then MySpace. I didn't really get into MySpace because it was, I just can't be asked taking photos of myself in the toilet, right? In the bathroom.
Right,
That's what MySpace is all about because there's a mirror there, right? And then and then Facebook came in and the status update was I am. So all the status update in 2007 until probably 2010 to 12 has I am in it. The beginning, that's why I am feeling this, I am feeling that. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. And I probably came in on the latter part of that, I reckon.
Yeah, yeah. But it's so interesting that you said because in those days people used to be honest. I feel like shit, like because of my blah blah blah.
That's a really good point. You used to see that.
Yeah, you used to see that. Now you don't. Not at all.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
see most people posing their food. You see the most uploads when they're on holidays.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting.
All right. So listen, how do you stay engaged with the wellness mindset when motivation disappears? Because it will disappear.
Yes.
So here are some practical anchors. Number one, create non-negotiables. 3 daily behaviors you commit to, no matter what. Examples: the 20-minute walk, protein and water before junk food, no phone for 30 minutes after waking up in the morning. When do you reckon you pick up your phone in the morning first thing, Matt?
Mate, after my first coffee.
Yeah, I actively try not to touch it.
Yeah, my problem is my alarm clock is my phone.
Well, I've got the same issue, right?
Yeah. So I at one point I started using voice commands to turn it off so I don't have to touch it. But my rule is I enter the world after my first coffee, which is about 20 minutes, 30 minutes after I wake up.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
Yeah.
And moving on from that, there's also saving a percentage of income or 10 minutes of simple reflection before bedtime.
That 10 minutes of reflection before bed is so important. Yeah. Avoid reading before bed. I don't know where that culture came from, where you read before you go into bed. It's either a book or whatever. You see it in a lot of movies, a lot of shows as well. Maybe it came from there. Anyway, discipline removes negotiation from moments of weakness. Remember my definition of discipline, Jono? Your actions now that your future self will thank you.
Yeah.
So discipline removes negotiation from moments of weakness. The man who argues with temptation daily eventually loses because it doesn't stop. Temptation never stops. Yeah.
That's the thing. You can't assume temptation's going to go away.
No.
It's how you manage it.
Yes.
It's how you manage it. Just assume it'll always be there. So number 2 here is track energy, not just outcomes. So most people track their weight or their money. Track your energy instead. Okay. Ask yourself, what drains me? What restores me? Which people regulate my nervous system? Which habits destabilize me?
What do you mean by which people regulate my nervous system, bro?
I think it's to do with relationships. It's to do with relationships. Have you got the right people around you, or do you not have the right people around you? Have you got people that trigger you in the wrong way, or have you got people that, really help you center yourself? What are you surrounding yourself with? It comes down to that, whether it's true or not. But I like it as a good rule of thumb that saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with.
The environment actually silently shapes identity. Chaos outside eventually becomes chaos within.
Yeah. Simple things you can do, like clean your room. Very underrated thing to do. Reduce digital clutter. Simplify your finances. Create recovery spaces. Your environment either supports your nervous system or it attacks it.
Man, one of my rules, make your bed.
Make your bed, mate.
Make
It's
your
such
bed.
a big thing.
It's such a big deal. Make your bed. And not just make it look good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good way of starting the day. It starts the day in a nice, neat and tidy fashion. And that carries weight mentally as well and emotionally. So number 4 here. I talk about this with people all the time. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation follows movement. It's not the other way around. The wellness mindset is built by action first, emotion second. And this ties in with one of the governing principles of NLP. So when they came up with NLP, the guys that created the modality, they created models of hundreds of people. Okay. And then they put those models together and looked for the common denominators in those models. And one of the most common denominators amongst successful people, and I'm talking about people who are successful in business, successful in sport, or just successful at doing life. Because just doing life and being happy, that's also very successful. All right. One of the common denominators that they came up with was that the most effective people never waited for motivation. They just did things and relied on the fact, had the confidence that the motivation would come as they progressed.
I totally agree. For example, when I'm doing art or music, or even just brainstorming for my next ad campaign, what it is going to look like, right? I went through a phase where I would imagine it first, and then nothing, right? So what I started doing is I have this process. I'll turn on my computer. I will start looking at old ads, and then I'll look at the data, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. Notice I didn't even say what I'm going to do next, because after doing the next 5 actions, I have an idea.
Right.
Yeah. So actions first, motivation second, inspiration third.
Look, and that's it. That's exactly right. Actions bring clarity.
Yes. So perhaps the true question is not how do I become well, but what kind of life allows wellness to emerge naturally and organically?
And usually the answer is simpler than people think. It just comes down to less chaos, less distraction, less emotional avoidance, less comparison to others, more sleep, more movement, more purpose, more boundaries, more connection, and more self-respect.
I love the way that it's less chaos. That's the first part.
Right.
Yes, it's true. It's so freaking true, man.
Your nervous system responds poorly to chaos.
Yes. Unless you're even the most, I'm trained in martial arts, and I still get a bit, my nervous system goes up, even though I'm calm, when it's chaotic, right? Yeah. And I think I mentioned it a few times now in the channel, right? That, that story of good versus evil? Yeah, that only came to pretty much civilization after Zoroastrianism came in. Yeah? That
Good.
Zoroastrianism is from Iran, from Persia. Yeah?
Yeah.
The oldest battle is not good versus evil. It's chaos before versus order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every creation story ever written is chaos was or the void or nothingness, and then something objective or something finite or something orderly came about. And to
Yeah.
me, that's the daily battle that we have. It's not good or evil, right? It's chaos versus order.
Yeah.
And wellness is not achieved through self-punishment. It emerges through intelligent stewardship of the mind, the body and emotion, and resources, really.
Yeah. And maybe the biggest shift is this: stop treating wellness like a temporary project,
Oh, amen to that one, bro. Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah, big time.
Because if your habits only exist during motivation, they disappear during stress. The real wellness mindset is identity based. You become someone who protects their peace, someone who trains their body, someone who thinks longer term, someone who recovers quickly, someone who lives deliberately. And over time, those small repeated choices completely reshape your future.
All right, Jono. Just to wrap up this episode for this week, do you have any words of wisdom for our audience?
Strangely enough, I do.
That's great.
So, look, how can I put it? Look, when most people hear the word wellness, they picture perfection, perfect routines, perfect bodies, perfect mornings, perfect balance. But life was never designed to be perfect. Now, your life moves in seasons. There'll be seasons where you feel strong, seasons where you feel lost, seasons where you build, seasons where you heal, and seasons where you just survive. And the wellness mindset is not about avoiding those seasons. It's about learning how to move through them without abandoning yourself. Because that's what most people do. The moment life becomes stressful, they disconnect from themselves. They stop sleeping properly, stop moving, stop saving, stop reflecting, stop breathing deeply. They stop checking in emotionally and stop protecting their nervous system. And slowly, they become strangers to their own well-being. But wellness was never meant to be another performance. It's stewardship. It's learning how to care for your own mind before it burns out, your body before it breaks down, your finances before stress consumes your future, your relationships before loneliness hardens your heart. And here's the beautiful part: you do not need to transform your entire life overnight. You just need to stop betraying yourself in small ways. Because every healthy meal, every honest conversation, every walk, every boundary, every disciplined financial choice, every moment you choose growth instead of escape, you're teaching yourself something powerful. You're teaching yourself, I matter enough to care for. And over time, that changes everything. Because wellness is not a reward for becoming perfect. It's the foundation that allows you to become fully alive. And maybe that's the real goal. Not just to live longer, but to live clearer, stronger, lighter, wiser, to wake up one day and realize your life no longer feels like survival. It feels like alignment. And that is the wellness mindset.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. If you found this video interesting, perhaps useful, please share it with someone who needs it right now. And for now, please subscribe and click on the notification bell button. So next time we actually upload a video and new content, you will be one of the first ones to know. And our promise to you is if you do so, we will not disappoint you. We will make these videos better and better and better every time we do it. And this is your small way and a big way at the same time to support this channel. But for now, thank you very much for being here. Once again, my name is Crom.
And my name's Jono.
Until next time, bye for now.
See you later, people. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.